I bet you could use more clients. Am I right? Today, we're going to talk about 5 tips that can explode your growth on Pinterest. Are you ready? Here we go. Hey, I'm Jen with Wed Photography Coach, helping you create marketing systems that drive more traffic to your content. If you could use help with any of that, definitely subscribe and hit that little bell icon so that you get notified every time I release a new video. All right, let's get to the content already. Did you know that 90% of weekly pinners use the app to actually make purchases? Which means that you absolutely need to have your business on Pinterest. You need to capture all of that free marketing that gets those 90% of people to purchase something from you. And every business needs more traffic because more traffic means more clients. So today I have 5 tips to help you do just that. The first is to use fresh pins. And when you're creating fresh pins, create a multitude of pins for each content type. So if it's a blog post, I, as an example, create 8 pins on the bottom of every single blog post. People can use that to pin to their Pinterest page if they want to mark this information because it's so great. Or you can do the same for YouTube, for a podcast, or even for Instagram. The next tip is use keywords in your title and your description. So a lot of people say, what are keywords? Well, keywords, it's pretty simple, are basically searchable words or searchable terms. So anything that you type into that browser bar to find the type of content that you're creating, all those words should be in the description and in the title of your pin. So my third tip is to have 20 boards minimum on your Pinterest profile and to have 20 to 30 pins on each of those boards. And the reason is that's kind of a bare minimum at what point that Pinterest decides to serve up your content to people. So if you don't have that bare minimum, anything that you're pinning right now is not going to get as much traction. So that's like the first step, the first thing that you want to do to get your Pinterest beefed up, to be able to start, producing on Pinterest and driving traffic to your website, YouTube, podcast, Instagram. Okay, I'm going to take a tiny little break right here, and I'm going to ask you guys, please, 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 I'm going to make a ton more videos. So if you could put in the comments below any video information that you are looking for with regards to Pinterest, and that way, as I'm starting to make more and more of these videos, I can definitely make a video that you specifically would want to watch. The fourth tip is to make sure that your Pinterest profile is as optimized as possible. And what you need to have in there is you need to have your name, you need to have the name of your company, and you need to make sure that you're telling people in that description on your Pinterest profile who you are, what you do, and who you serve. And a bonus tip would be to have some kind of freebie on there. So on my wedding photography Pinterest board, I have, go to my website if you'd like to get a free ultimate wedding planning guide. Tip number 5 is super, super, super important. Make sure that you are very consistent with your pinning. Ideally, you want to pin 10 to 20 things a day. If you have a lot of content, 30 times a day. But if, let's say, you're just getting started and you don't have a lot of content, that's not a problem. Pin 5 times a day. But whatever you're going to do it every day, multiple times a day. That's why I use Tailwind. I love Pinterest, but I don't want to spend time in my workday 5 times a day minimum going on and posting to Pinterest because I go down a rabbit hole. I'm looking up recipes, natural face masks I can make from whatever's in my kitchen, etc. So what I do is I use Tailwind and I spend about 30 minutes one time a week and I pin for the entire week in just that 30 minutes. So if you want to join me on Tailwind, I have a free trial down below. Today we went over 5 tips to explode your traffic. Number 1, we talked all about fresh pins and having multiple pins for each of your different content type. We made sure that you had keywords or searchable terms in all of your titles and the descriptions of your pins. We are going to make sure we have a minimum of 20 boards, and we're going to make sure we have a minimum of 20 to 30 pins on each board. And then we're going to ensure that your Pinterest profile is complete. Make sure you're telling who you serve and what you do and how your company can help people. And then 5th, you want to be super consistent. You want to pin about 10 to 30 times a day, but if you only have a little bit of content, you can go ahead and pin 5 times a day. but do that every single day. I'll tell you a secret. I created a phenomenal Pinterest challenge. Originally, it was a live 3-day challenge, but what I did was I created a free course that has, 3 videos for those 3 days. It's about 40 minutes to an hour for each of the videos. That video or that course will take you from not having a Pinterest all the way to having a Pinterest optimized business Pinterest page. So if you'd like to take advantage of that, I have put down below a code so you can get that free content just by putting that code in and have a phenomenal Pinterest page that is driving traffic for your business. So now put those systems in place and work smarter, not harder. And happy pinning. Is that good? That was good, huh? And I have a husband and son who are making a shit ton of noise in the other room.